Tonight, we're talking about all things moody. So it's evening, the sun is set, and it's dark outside. And in this space, we have it lit in a way where we have more of an accent lighting going on, indirect lighting going on. We've shut off the overhead lights to create this kind of moody coziness. So we've got a little accent light coming up on washing the wall a bit. With this lamp, the shade kind of diffuses the light in a way that it just glows instead of illuminating the space for task. And it also accentuates the pieces that are just below it, just surrounding it, and it makes them glow a bit and stand out. Now, in contrast to that, say we want to brighten things up or it's the daytime, now everything in the room is illuminated and it makes everything stand out. So you see the contrast that lighting can create. In that evening atmosphere, you can have that dimmer light just accentuating certain pieces in the space and really cozying it up. But in the daytime, when it's nice and bright, or if you want to flip your can lights on or illuminate the entire space, you see how it just completely transforms the space. Lighting is a perfect way to create a mood. So in this space, even though we've flipped the overhead lights on, we do still have that warm, cozy feel because we've chosen an Edison bulb, which has a more warm tone to it. So it still keeps that coziness even though things are lit up. So there's still a bit of a mood created here in the nighttime with the overhead lights. It is a smaller space, so you're still keeping that cozy mood, but using a mirror to reflect from one side of the room to the other just to make the space look a little larger. It still keeps that cozy mood, but it gives you the feeling that you're not closed in into a cave. We don't want that either. We don't want people to feel so enclosed in a space. Though this is tight, it still feels open. In this space, we've also added a few lighter pieces like the lighter chair. We've got the lighter walls and the lighter artwork, but the artwork itself brings back that moodiness with those blacks and dark grays in it. So we still have that cozy, moody theme, but in a way that it doesn't feel like you're entering into a dark, scary space. A mood can be set with color. And you don't necessarily have to make everything dark. Like the walls behind me are nice and bright and light, but the mood that we have set here brings in the blacks and the golds, the moodiness of the blacks and the golds. And we have that color pattern repeated throughout this space. We have beautiful blacks and golds going on in the artwork behind me, in the pillows, in the scarf or throw, and even in the amber glass. So this little cozy spot brings a moodiness to it because of those darker, richer, deeper colors that are showing through. Nice dark throw behind me as well. So this kind of sets that mood for maybe evening where I'm going to sit back, relax, sip a nice glass of red wine or a nice beer if I want. This is a Pilsner glass, so that makes me think that. Even down to the lamp, the lighting. In this lamp, we've got that nice dark shade going on. So just a little bit of light peeks through. It's enough to light a room, but it doesn't illuminate the whole space. So it creates that moodiness with light. Even bringing in those golden tones in the botanicals that we have going on in the space as well. So just showing you the differences between moodiness, that contrast between something moody or light and bright, just the switching of a lamp. Say I've got this nice dark lamp going on with the dark shade. The shade just lets the light glow from it. In contrast to that, if I switched it up and used this lamp is much lighter in character and it's got that lighter shade. You can clearly see the difference between the light that's illuminating out of each of them just because of that shade. So, moody, light and bright. So what we're trying to accomplish in this video is that you don't have to completely transform the decor in a room to create that darker, richer mood. It can all be done with lighting. We discussed this before in a previous video that I'll link below, but discussing how layering lighting in a room, you can flip off some of those overhead task lights and just illuminate certain spaces to create a whole different feel for the room.
All right, so welcome to my office. Let's talk about the vibe of a space, the feeling you get when you walk into a space. And I think it's important that you know what that feeling is to be to you when you're designing a space. What do you want that room to feel like? Not so much for everybody else that walks in, but for you. This is your space. This is my office, my space. I want this space to feel like it's my vibe. So my vibe is cars. It's warm. It's kind of dark. It's not bright halogen lights everywhere. It's cozy, that sort of thing. So when I was keeping all those things in mind, designing my office, I was like, okay, well, how am I going to achieve that? So first thing is, I didn't want a white sterile paint color. I wanted a dark color. Well, you could do your trim around your doors in white, which is very traditional, but it's not the vibe I was going for. I was going for that darker vibe. And so I went with the door casing and the back of the door, the same color as the walls. The baseboard, which I still have to add because I'm not quite done yet, will be that same dark color. So my desk is orange. Orange, why? Because orange is fun. So the orange goes well with the dark gray walls, and I like the color of the desk. This desk actually was orange. We painted this desk orange years ago when I first bought it. The credenza as well. And we left the wood on the top. Why? Because my dad was a woodworker. I've got a grandfather and a great uncle that were woodworkers, so I respect wood. So I wanted to leave the wood tones on the furniture, but I also wanted to have a different vibe down here for the color. So a lot of different decisions went into building my office. Things in my office, let me just show you around. So right here, I love Legos. Every year, I want a Lego kit for Christmas, the big ones. You know, the ones that are not for people under 12 years old. So I've got a collection of those. They're cars. They're something I enjoy, so I wanted them where I could see them and display them. Talk about comfortable. Well, let's talk about the lounging area, shall we? So I love this sectional. It's great. It's comfortable. It fits the space wonderfully, and it's just a great place you can sit. You can watch a movie on the TV. It's a great place to sit and read a memo from somebody or catch up on your emails, that sort of thing. Very comfortable space. I like it. Now, how do you light a space like this? Most people come through here and we'll put in 20 can lights. We'll brighten the space up. We'll do all that. That's not what I wanted. I wanted enough light in here to see what I was doing, but not so much light that I could, that Jen could come in here and do her makeup. It's not that kind of space. So I've got two windows in here right now, so they're letting a lot of daylight in. So right now it's a lot brighter than it is in the evening. In the evening, it's more true to what I wanted and envision in my office. That's why I have blinds in the window so I can close and knock out the daylight. But what I did is I've got a light here. This is a decorative light. So if you're sitting on the couch reading, you've got great light overhead for reading a book, for reading a memo, for reading your emails, for whatever. But then I've got these stage lights up here, and the stage lights are Parcan 65s, I think they were, and they had a 300 watt halogen bulb in them, and they're for stage lighting, and they're super bright, and they create a ton of heat. So what I did is I pulled the Parcan 65 bulbs out of them, and I replaced them with a 95 watt LED bulb. 95 watts is bright, but you notice I don't have them shining into the room. I had them up places, so that light shines on my ESO sign. So the ESO sign is always illuminated, but the room's not bright. When you come in here at night and you turn the lights on, all the things around the edge of the room light up but the room doesn't get bright per se. I do have a ceiling fan in here, and there is a light in the ceiling fan. So if I'm sitting in here, and I've got a coffee table coming here, if I'm sitting here at my coffee table and I want to put some Lego together, I've got a light option where I can turn that on, and I can have light here for task lighting. I've got task lighting over my desk because it's an important area to have well lit. I got a lamp on my desk. I have the 2 bright lights over my desk. That area needs to be well lit. But everything else is just accent lighting that lights up the things around the space. Again, the color of the rug, not too dark, but dark enough that it's kind of got that dark vibe to it, that mood to it. I didn't want to be busy. The things in my office are busy. The models of cars, the oil cans, the guitar, the signs, the Lego, the license plates, the records. All my records, you notice, have a theme. They all have cars on the artwork. I don't care what the band is. I don't care the genre of music. I don't care the age of the album. But every single one of these records, and this is about 1/4 of my collection, all have cars on the album. So there's a theme when I went and put my office together. There was a vibe when I put my office together. This is my space. This is where, if we've done work for you, I've likely sat in this office and done your estimate for you. I've likely sat in here and done your invoice for you. This is where I sit and educate myself on upcoming trends in the tile world, in the design world. This is where I do my work. So this is my space. And your space needs to fit you. All right, so we talked about my office space a little bit, and we talked about, you know, the colors and the lighting and that sort of thing. So this is actually part of my office as well, and this continues the mood of my space. And so I just like to have fun. Everything I have is very eclectic. There's not a real strong theme through everything that I do. There's a lot of different themes coming together, I guess you would say, in the way I design things. But this is my little bar area. And it started because I enjoy a glass of whiskey. So I said, well, I'd like to do a little whiskey bar in my office. So we did some cabinets, a part of a showroom display we already had. We had the granite. So we did this little space here, still under construction. You can see on this side over here, I'm going ahead and I'm building a bookshelf. And this bookshelf is almost 9 foot tall, 8 foot wide. It's a really large piece. There's 22 of these shelves cut. They all have to be painted and installed and everything else. So that's still to go in here, and that'll hold collections. But this is all not so much moody, but each shelf will show a little different story. So, you know, we've got a die-cast Ferrari here. We've got a little tin cup whiskey license plate, vanity plate. Each shelf will have something different on it. It'll all be related to the things that I enjoy. And this is just a space for me to have my collectibles, and it all goes with just being relaxed in my space. And so some people might want an all-white space, so that it feels very clean. Some people might want a very trendy space with a lot of colors and neons and things like that. Everybody wants a different space. And so part of design, the way we look at it, is what works for you. So we're going to help you design the space. You tell us what you like in your space, what your lifestyle is and that sort of thing, and then we'll make suggestions that help you come up with things. Design doesn't have to be a ton of money. That bar, like I said, was an old display that we had that we repurposed. This fridge was something, bar fridge, that a customer was getting rid of because it didn't fit their new space. These boards were made, these are boards that we recycled off siding from a building next door. So we can take things and put them all together and make a pretty cool design space. But this is, again, part of my mood.
Color plays a huge factor in creating a mood. So in this space, I've got a really dark wall going on, but I've offset that so that I don't feel like I'm in a cave with some lighter colored draperies. Now, to transform completely from that, I've got 2 different directions I could go here. One, I could pick dark, rich, moody artwork to continue that deep theme, or I can completely lift it up by going bright. And bright is the direction I'm going. So I've decided in this space, I'm going to use artwork that has bright, vibrant pops of color to offset the darkness of the walls. So the mood that I'm creating in this space does have the deep, rich tones, but I'm livening it up and adding some excitement with the brighter colors. In contrast to that, This room has dark walls, and in this particular piece, it has those dark, rich, moody colors. So it keeps that kind of dark, cozy, edgy feel to it in the space because of the selection of the art.
I love the mood of this corner. I love it because it feels cozy. It's a kind of corner that you just kind of want to curl up and read a good book or just get comfortable. The reason it feels so cozy is because of this darker mood that we have going on. We've got the dark brown faux leather chair. We've got, the nice velvety pumpkins going on for fall. The nice darker cabinet. Our light fixture, it's not turned on at the moment, but it's one of those like the others in our other previous videos, how it just kind of makes a glow in the space and you see the texture of the wood. It's not something that you could read by. It's something that just kind of gives that nice warm glow in the space. We've got a nice rug that warms up the floor. Again, this space is kind of smaller, so we've got the mirror that reflects the space and makes it look a little larger. So even though we're kind of dark and moody with our botanicals, with the fabrics going on, we still have a few of those lighter pieces, the lighter walls, the mirror that reflects the light and just makes the space feel moody and cozy, yet still open. This is a balance that you want to think through in your spaces. You can create a mood and have darker walls, have those darker things, but you also want the space to feel inviting, not dark and moody in a way that frightens your company or yourself a little bit. So again, that nice balance between cozy, dark, but a few of those reflective pieces.
I hope these tips were helpful for you tonight. So the whole idea of tonight's show is creating your mood. Think of the utilization of color. If you want your space to feel warm and kind of cozy, you want to stick to those deep, dark, rich colors. If you want your space to have a mood of energy, you want to use maybe some of those lighter, brighter, more vibrant colors. Utilize lighting to create mood in your space. If you want that cozy feel, think about those layers of lighting. Think about those outer layers being more indirect and maybe lighting up just dark corners and having that lower light bulb, that lower watt light bulb, or even a warmer light bulb to create a warmer feel. If you want the space to have all kinds of energy with the light, light it up, baby. Flip on those lights. Make those lights nice, crisp, and bright. And that will really bring a feel of excitement and energy. Thinking of mood too, think about textures, think about your fabrics, and not just the color, but the feel of them as well. I hope everyone had a great night tonight. I hope you had a few takeaways from the show. If you have any show suggestions, please feel free to drop in a comment. We'd love to hear from you. If you've got an idea that you use to create a mood in your space, let us know. Until next time, happy Halloween.